you're learning the restaurant business. You're starting to enjoy it. You obviously want to do your own thing. At what point did you say, "Hey, I want to start Sonny's"? Talk a little bit first about your father's dream back when he was young, and you guys would go hit the hot dog stands in Jersey City.
Growing up as a kid in Jersey City, my dad knew a lot of people. Up in Jersey City back in the 70s, basically almost on every corner, there would be a hot dog cart. And everywhere I went out with my dad, everybody knew who he was, everywhere I go. So he used to take me to all the hot dog. He used to go and talk to people, and I used to go to the hot dog stands, and they used to give me hot dogs. And never had to pay for them, they would hand me the hot dogs. I would eat the hot dogs and stuff like that. And he would always tell me, if you ever want to make a lot of money, he goes, that's going to be me one day. And I'm like, what are you talking about, Dad? He's like, I'm going to have my own hot dog stand one day. He goes, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And I'm like, I'm young, 7, 8 years old. And I'm like, oh, you want to do hot dogs? That's fine. I didn't know anything. So he's like, you want to make money, you got to do it. He goes, all these guys I know that own these hot dog stands, he says, they're loaded with money. They got money. They got a wad of money in their pocket, And I was like, all right. And I kept remembering him saying that. And even when I was home at the house, growing up with my mom and with him in the house, he used to talk to my mom about it, how he always wanted to do it. And that's all he kept talking about. He says, the day that comes that I retire, I'm going to have a hot dog truck. So I said, all right. So he was pursuing that. He was working. And then when he was with the city, he was retiring soon. He didn't say when. But at the age of 47 years old, he started developing health problems. And he went to the doctors, and they found out that he had heart disease. I was young at the time, but my dad was the type of guy, he really didn't talk much about anything. He was very to himself, a thick-headed Italian man, never wanted to go to doctors, never did anything. For him to go to the doctor, he was bad, because that's how he was. So he found out that he had heart disease, he had an enlarged heart, and he was on tons of medication, and the doctors told him that he needed a triple bypass. This is about 1983, 1984, and the doctors came out. Now, back then, bypass surgery, wasn't
Not
big
like
it is today.
today,
Today, forget it, But back then, the doctor told him, it's a 50-50 shot. We put you on the table, there's a 50-50 shot. So my dad heard that. He didn't care. He smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day. That didn't hold him back. He kept smoking his cigarettes. He says, well, I'll tell you this. He says, when I take my first heart attack, he says, you can cut me open and make all your repairs that you have to make.
Now, during all this, your dad still had this dream. He went and built this truck that sat in front of your house.
Yeah,
he was getting ready for that hot dog truck.
He had the truck out in front of the house. He did all his paperwork. He got all his permits because he knew what he wanted to do. And he was due to retire because he was just tired of what he was doing, with the politics and all that stuff. So he had the truck outside. I remember he actually spray painted the truck with a can of spray paint. He spray painted it black. And he was like a little kid with this. And it was something he always wanted to do. And the truck sat out there. And then when he was 50 years old, 1985, every Sunday we would have dinner at the house. The family would come over. And we had dinner. He was at the table eating. Everything was good. I had left, and I went to drive my girlfriend home. And when I got to her house, her mom was at the window, and she said, your sister's on the phone. She's crying. I think something's wrong. Something happened in your house. So I ran upstairs. I got on the phone. She says, I think Daddy died. And I said, what are you talking about? I said, I just left him. He was fine. She goes, he's not responding. So I flew back home. It was only about a half a mile. And when I got home, the paramedics were working on him in the living room. He was on the floor. And he never got a chance to do what he wanted to do. He wound up passing away. So
fast forward, and you get this dream.
I had the dream.
6, 7 years back.
Yeah, it was a while. I woke up, and I told my wife, I looked at my wife. Now, meanwhile, I was working at the diner at the time. And I told my wife, I said, I had a dream with my dad. He was in a truck. I'm going to say a hot dog truck, hot dog cart. I think it was a truck. And he told me exactly what he used to tell me when I was a kid. If you want to make money, open up a hot dog truck. You got to open up a hot dog truck. And everything's got to be cash, 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 cash. So I looked at her and I says, I'm going to open up a hot dog truck. And she looked at me like I was crazy. She said, what? I said, I'm going to do a hot dog. I'm going to own a hot dog truck. I'm going to name it Sonny's Hot Dogs. My dad's nickname was Sonny. I'm going to name it Sonny's Hot Dogs. And that's what I did. I wound up leaving the diner, and I wound up buying a trailer. Guy was selling it. It was a hot dog trailer. It was like it appeared in the back parking lot of the diner when I was working one night. I
So
thought
literally at the diner, someone pulled up in a
yeah, and it was
a hot
back
dog
there.
trailer.
I was actually walking with one of the cooks to dump the oil, and I was just taking a walk with him, and we were in the back parking lot. I look over there. There's a hot dog trailer for sale. And I said, you got to be kidding me, you know? So I took the number down, I called the guy, and I wound up buying the trailer off of him. So I went out and I bought a Ford Expedition. I bought it off of some guy in Toms River off of Craigslist. And I used that to pull the trailer. And I wound up getting a spot in Englishtown on Route 516 near Raceway Park.
Yep.
And I was there. I did the hot dog trailer there for like a little over 2 years. And then I moved and I went up to Madison Park in Old Bridge. And I was there for almost 3 years. And from that moment on, I did the hot dog truck. I loved it.